Thanks to Sky Blue for making that up for Gamers Geek Radio.
Hi everyone, we are back this week with Leah and Christine, or Teeny Weenie. Oh, cute! We are here to talk about our favorite shows right now that are crossing over into video games or already been made into video games, or vice versa. Some movies have been made from games. So, what do we have first? I know that some big ones. Weenie has a couple to mention that we were discussing earlier. Why don't you start us off with that?
Oh, I was looking into that there's going to be a musical for, I think, Portal in Vancouver. And they've been doing rehearsals and stuff, and they have this YouTube channel that has a bunch of theatrical stuff to do with video games and the like and stuff. It's pretty cool. Actually, I just looked it up, and I guess Valve's getting kind of interested into it just because they're using their games, and I guess there's some legal thing that's going down apparently. But so far, it looks like they're just doing it for fun, and it's something I'd want to get into. I need to visit Vancouver.
Right? What an excuse to visit Vancouver.
Right?
It's beautiful, and who wouldn't want to see a musical Portal? I mean, come on.
Yeah, like I guess the chick, she like sings her thoughts throughout, like, and there's a lot of miming, and I don't know.
That sounds pretty. It sounds artistic, but also
sounds out there. Awesome. Yeah, like I wonder how do they incorporate a game like that into a musical.
That'd be interesting to see, definitely.
Yeah.
Kendrick.
What about everyone's, I don't know, favorite little list of shows right now? My personal favorite is Game of Thrones. And Telltale is picking up Game of Thrones.
Excited.
I know! Who doesn't love Game of Thrones? And I mean, honestly, like Telltale games, like if anybody played Walking Dead, that is an amazing game. And also Wolf Among Us, and they're picking up Game of Thrones now. So if there anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's like a choose your own adventure. Basically, you are this character. I'll look at like a Wolf Among Us. So you are a wolf, the big bad wolf specifically, and you are a sheriff. And you have to interact with characters, and you're figuring out a mystery in this particular setting in the first part of the game. I'm not going to get too into it, no spoilers, but so you have to, when you're interacting, you get to choose certain things you get to say to this person, and that actually changes the outcome of the game. It's like, you know, taking your favorite thing as a kid. I don't know about if anybody else read any of those Choose Your Adventure books. Anybody read those? Did you? Yeah. So
Choose Your Own Adventure and Fight and Fantasy.
Oh
yes.
My gosh. I'd always cheat.
You always cheated?
No, I want to go back. I want to go back.
Yeah, like I don't like that outcome. I have to go back. I'm going to choose this one. I meant this one. I wrote the wrong one.
My finger was still on the page. You saw that, right?
So, I mean, Game of Thrones, though. I mean, I loved the Walking Dead one, and I loved the Wolf Among Us, because it was just like a modern twist on your old favorite fairy tales. But definitely adult, so you don't want children in the room. And I know Game of Thrones is going to be, if not...
It wouldn't be Game of Thrones without a little...
Yes, without a little adultness.
Yeah.
So speaking of Game of Thrones, the season premiere is coming up in April, I do believe. I am super, super excited. Looks like Weenie is as well.
I want the book. Oh my gosh.
I'm reading the first book. Usually I read the books before I watch the movies or shows. I don't know why I haven't, but I'm currently reading the first book, and you want to know, honestly, it they're doing a pretty good job paralleling the books. They really are.
This season right now, actually with the books, there's a huge difference.
Yeah, that's what
They've been pretty parallel with it up until this season that they're doing,
the season
and
5.
they're
Coming up,
changing
right?
a lot. Like the focus, like what would have been a couple chapters is the season. Like what are they? So everybody's
They
really
must want to
anticipating.
dive. They want to dive really into depth with it. You know what I mean? Like that's really big. Like with The Hobbit, they made The
Yeah.
Hobbit into 3 movies. But you know what? They really were able to open up and pry into every single little detail, and I
Yeah.
really love that.
They're opening
You
up,
know?
but they're like changing things that are in the book. Like someone's supposed to be somewhere, but they're doing this instead. So
Yeah.
they're changing a lot, and
I'm
everybody
hoping
is
it's for the
kind of
better.
scared.
I'm a
Yeah.
little nervous myself, but I think they're still working really, really closely
Hmm.
with George R. R. Martin. So I mean, that's still a good sign.
Yeah.
You know. So what about your favorite characters? I'm rooting for Daenerys Targaryen, of course. I am rooting for her because she's awesome, but also I love Jon Snow. He's really gonna, you know what? And my third favorite, or maybe sometimes he's my first favorite, is forgive me, I'm really tired. I cannot remember his
Uh,
name.
well, what did he do? What is he about? What's happening?
He's he's the brother. Oh my gosh. I can't remember his name. We'll come back to that when I remember. But he's one of the royal family, but he's not. He's always kind of been the outcast because he's the youngest brother, and he's a little person. So
Tyrone.
Ah, I know who you're talking about.
yeah, why can't I
Yeah.
remember his name?
Tyrone.
Yes, Tyrion.
Tyrion.
Tyrion. He's I don't know. I've loved him from the beginning. I really have. Like he's a little rascal. He's a scoundrel, but like when push comes to shove, he really shows his loyalty lies with humanity, not with one side or the other. What's more or less right as it can be, and I really like that. What about you? What are
See,
your favorite characters?
with me, I am way behind. But I know when I was last watching, I believe he may have died. I'm not sure. I have always been a fan of Jason Momoa. So, Khal Drogo, is it?
Shh. We're not going to
Oh
give
my
anything
God.
away. We can't do
That-
it.
Yeah, as I
that
said, I am way behind, but yeah.
One of my
With
real life friends
the
look
ones
exactly
I
like
have
him, and I
been
tell him that
watching.
all the time.
Who
And I was
didn't
like,
love
"Dude,
him? Who didn't love him in Firefly? Anybody see him? Yeah. Who didn't love him there? Right?
Oh yeah.
The first time I actually noticed him was Stargate, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Got a cameo in a bunch of different things, actually. I was reading his little list of things. None come to mind, but when you look at his list, most of them are sci-fi or fantasy related. Like that's obviously where he's chosen to put his acting passions. And he's an amazing actor. He's really playing that part. Like I cannot picture someone else playing that part as well as he's done. Because as far as reading him in the first book, he definitely did a good job. He did his research. A lot of those actors and actresses, they've done their research.
They did their stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they know what they're doing, which I'm liking. Because usually I read first and then I watch.
I'm just asking.
So, what about you, Winnie? What's your go-to character?
Arya.
Oh yes, who can forget? She's supposed to be like from what you've seen, like costume change, and she's supposed to be even bigger in this season.
you haven't read the books and you just started reading, so
Yes,
I don't want
don't.
to spoil it for you. Holy shit. That's my girl.
She's definitely feisty, and the actress herself, I feel, is bringing like a little more of a more depth to the character than just reading her on paper so far.
Oh,
Because I'm only on the
yeah.
first book. You know what I mean? I feel like she's definitely brought the character to life.
I
So
like it a
I'm
lot.
excited for
A
the
lot,
game.
a lot.
I can't wait. They don't really have. I don't believe they have a release date yet, but it's definitely in the works. So for all you Game of Thrones fans out there, and even if you're not, if you're a Telltale Games fan, if you love those choose your own adventures, that is definitely something you're gonna want to pick up. I know I'll be first in line
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
I'm excited for that.
Me too. Okay, so there's what else is out there that we are really seeing our video games come to life in a new way. Whether it's a show like Defiance, you know, that was actually a show and then a game. But I mean, I personally have not watched too much. I have so many shows I'm watching. How does it parallel with the game versus the show?
It's very, very interesting. Defiance, the show, is in one city, and the game is in another city. However, you do get crossovers with characters from the show coming off over to the game, and you're doing quests for them. So you get to interact with the characters from the show, and from time to time they'll actually tie in stuff from the game back into the show. It was actually made to operate parallel to each other. Technically, apparently, it works in such a way that if one did, God forbid, fail, the other one could go on without it, but it works really well in tandem.
Yeah.
So
I haven't
that's
played the game.
me either. I picked up the game for a short period of time. But I had issues with it because it was for the PC that I started playing it on, and the controls were not adaptable to that. Did anybody else feel like that if you played the PC version?
No.
It didn't feel like they belonged. Just, you know.
See, I've not played it on console either, so I can't compare the two.
I did.
Yeah,
I played them on
I
both.
love Defiance on PC.
I had some problems with the crossover. I felt like the controls were a little too cluttered for PC. Like they should have cleaned them up a little more. But that being said, it definitely. I feel like I could get back into it. It deserved a little more of my attention. And I'm interested in seeing the show more.
The good thing about it, it's free to play.
Well, there you go.
Who doesn't love free?
Free to play MMO shooter. Awesome.
All right, well, here's the big ticket question. What would you like to see right now? Like your favorite game, first that comes to mind, made into a movie or a game made from a movie?
That we would like to see developed into one?
Yes. Or vice versa. Like your favorite game made into an awesome movie.
I know when the shorts for the game came out, a lot of people were saying this one they actually thought was a movie, and that is Wildstar. With the background that they've got for it, it would most probably make a really awesome movie, TV show, whatever.
I like the humor that they went with it the entire time. Yeah. It was so much fun to play, and I hate that it's not just getting the recognition that I honestly feel it should. Oh, sorry. It's a good game. I don't know why people are
so very.
I have not actually played that game, so I have no opinion on it.
Well,
seriously, try it.
They make it they make it very easy for people that have never actually played any kind of like MMO kind of deal.
And I have.
And
I have played
yeah, but
MMOs.
I like the way they started it off because a few things are kind of different.
Well, is
What
it like, so let's say my next door neighbor, just use an example, they're old people, so I really don't talk to them. They're nice. I can hear them yelling at each other. Actually, I can more like when they're working in their garden in the summer, the wife is yelling at the husband.
Of course, of course.
But is it, so you're saying like if somebody who's never picked up an MMO, like that's the first one, they can pick it up and be like, hey, I never played one before, but let's try this one. Would they be able to play it?
It's another one of these movies.
And if they have some kind of concept of video games, then yes, but it's not that easy to pick up. Like it's still,
Well, you would
it's still
hope
an
they would
elaborate
have some
game, but
concept of
they
video
do
games.
make it. I like the way they did their tutorials, like in the starting zone. Like you know how WoW starting zones they have their little tips and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't like the way that WoW's done it. I like the way that WildStar has done it because they incorporate it into quests and stuff as it teaches you.
See,
So everybody goes
that's
through the same
awesome.
steps. With
I love
World of
that.
Warcraft, it's just pop-ups that kind of interrupt your screen, and you're just like, "What the hell's going on?" And you can close them all, and then continue, and then you're lost to all
That's
hell.
amazing. You know that game I was telling you about, Order and Chaos, last show? If you got a chance to play it or not. They have the same way. They tutorials quests.
Yep.
So that you pick it up that way. You know, so everybody's doing the same thing, so everybody has the same concept of what's going to happen, what you're doing, how to do it. So there's no confusion, because I don't know if you've ever picked up a game, and I am really good at video games, and I'm pretty quick at picking them up. But there's a couple games out there, the tutorial was just do this, and do this, but didn't show me how, so like I'm spending way too long in this tutorial, and now I don't want to play, because I'm mad.
Yeah. You end up getting lost. It's like, or when the tutorial is like ridiculously long, and then when you're in, you're like, well, what the hell is that?
Yeah, and then you don't or you do something wrong because you don't explain it, so you have to start the game over because you missed something that was vital to your storyline that you couldn't get past if you didn't do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why the hell? Then how did I even get here?
Yeah. Like, why am I suddenly in the house when I was just in space? Now I'm in Oz. I don't know what's going on.
Why is
Do I need to find the magic
dancing?
slippers or the scepter? I don't know. Do I choose the sword or the hat?
The red or the blue pill? What's happening?
Wow, Matrix. Yeah, that's something I haven't seen in a while. Did anybody speaking of that, did you play any Matrix games? Like there was a couple out there I never played. Did you? I'm wondering if it's very good.
No, but I do. Well, correction. I did go in for a short time to Matrix Online, thanks to a friend of mine. But
How was that?
I don't know. The sci-fi sort of type feel to it, or sci-fi / real world type feel to it. Yeah, not for me.
No. We weren't feeling it.
No.
You know, when you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, even if you paid money for it, I would rather go and, you know what, this really isn't for me, and give it to somebody who's going to enjoy it than keep it in my video game collection and go, maybe I'll pick this up one day. You know what I mean? You have those games like, you know that you'll pick up again, or you're like, okay, I'll give this another try. Everybody's got that, like, stack of games. And then, and I say stack because we all have a stack that's, I'm going to get back to this one day.
And they're in different, like, sections. Like, I'll get back to this. I didn't really like that. That was too hard. Maybe I'll like it eventually.
Yeah. Dark Souls was in that for me, in that one stack for a little while. Until I got the hang of it. I gave it another chance, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for it. And I did, and it happened.
Did you feel accomplished?
Oh, yeah. You know you feel accomplished when you make it to the halfway point in the game, like you know that you made it really far, you're an hour into it, you're like, yes, I'm an hour into the game, I've gotten this far.
You know it's a good game, though.
When you start looking human. when you start looking human and less dead, you're like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, have you ever played Dark Souls? You know what I'm talking about.
I gave up a lot sooner than you did.
Okay, was it the beginning when you're in the dungeon with the little creature that as soon as you see like a troll or something, can't remember, he one hit and you're dead. You're like, why? Well, and then you're like running around. You're starting over like 10 times. Like, did I miss something in the beginning? I don't know what I'm doing. What's happening? So, you know what I did? You go up and out up the stairs, and there's like this little doorway. You jump through there with your sword like this. You plunge it in his head, and he's dead. So easy, right? Yeah, like this. You like that?
Oh,
I'm a good actress. But it was that easy. But it took me like 45 minutes to figure that out. And like 5 restarts.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I like hard games, but sometimes that game makes me so mad I want to actually break my controller. And I'm not one of those people that breaks my controllers or throw their precious to me. I can't play the game without them. But it makes me want to throw it at the TV. And, like, I scream and yell, and I come up with the most creative curse words. I don't even realize they're coming out of my mouth until it happens. There's no order in my head. They're mismatched, or they're, like, backwards from what you normally hear. And people are like,
dyslexic swear
and I'm like, don't even talk to me right now.
Like, I have a feeling you're trying to insult me by the tone in your voice, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, so back to the
Kenny,
game made
I'll be
into a
fine.
movie or a movie made into a video game. What would we like to see?
No, one.
I'd like some Chucky.
I know that they've started on the World of Warcraft movie. Honestly, I don't like the way they're going about it.
I've not looked too much into it for that reason right there that you're doing. I see that look on your face.
Yeah, I looked into it and everything, and I would honestly like it if they started from the very beginning of the lore. Because they can.
Don't they have the habit of starting in the middle of franchises?
Yeah, they can open
Everywhere.
a whole thing of just awesome if they started from the beginning. Because there's so much lore. They have so much potential to just make all big and be all kinds of amazing at the same time. But they're starting at what they think is the most popular part to start on. And honestly, if you want people to get into your game more and stuff, if you give them a reason to get into the game rather than just that, like, I honestly never looked too far into the lore, but I know the gist about it, and it'd be cool to see it, like, all played out. Because I'm interested, not enough interested to read it, but I'm interested. And I would like it if
you're so honest, though. That's
way.
great. That's great. You're honest about it, because there's some people that are like, yeah, I've read it, and they really, like, picked out key things that they think other people have read, you know?
Yeah.
They're like,
and I'm just...
they know only some of it, but they act like they know it all.
Yeah, I'm most certainly not going to get Lore Master.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, it's just,
there you go.
It's just too much. There's just so much behind it.
Now,
and I just
I was just going to say, like, if you started out playing it from the very first game, like I have a friend, 2 friends, I'm going to give them a little shout out because I think they're watching, April and Carl. I love you guys. Thank you. But they've been playing since the very beginning, and they know everything. But that's because they were able to read all that material and everything as it came out. You know what I mean? As it developed and read the little back history, the little offshoots of books and stuff that have come out. They've read it all. But they've been playing since the beginning. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That makes
Speaking
it a
of
little
that,
easier.
Christy, you might want to ask them whether or not they've got their statue. Apparently, anyone who's been playing for 10 years plus, they got this awesome statue sent to them.
Oh, yeah. That's the statue
I
that
did
they
not
have.
know that.
There's a lot of like negativity towards it because you
Because
have had to had your account for 10 years
active.
and active all 10 years.
And I know they have. But you know what? Be proud
Yeah.
of that. If that's your thing and that's what you want to do, we all have our vices. And I
There-
think there are a lot worse ones out there.
Yeah, there are so many people that are just upset. They're like, well, I went to Afghanistan and I had to cancel. What
They
is it called?
want a
You pay for that?
statue.
They
They
want a
want a
statue.
statue.
Those
And they don't
people.
get one.
Well,
The ones that are the most
here's
upset
another
probably
thing.
want a
No,
statue.
but they're using most of the people that I've seen complain. They're using the military excuse, which is kind of bothering me a lot.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I was busy
Well-
serving your country, and it's like,
So we know that in the future that they won't actually sort of give it out after they've had, say, 10 years active. See, that's another thing they may do.
oh, they might, or they might
Yeah.
even might do something to it. Because I saw the statue that it was, and
I
I've
have
seen the
not
actual.
seen the statue.
It's I saw the real one that they replicated like at BlizzCon. It's like massive and it's so cool.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's like about like that big. It's about like a foot tall. And it's amazing. It looks really cool. I don't know where I'd put it. I know if I hit someone with it, it would hurt a lot. I don't know why.
That's the place you go to, hitting somebody with your statue.
Well, no, because you know, like all
Because
those like movies and TV shows that you see, and they always have like that really random kind of like
And they
statues.
get hit in the
They
head
always
with
hit
it.
someone.
Right
Yeah.
there, right? Yeah.
Because we all know we grab our gaming statues and hit our
But
guests
when I
over the
see
head.
like statues like that, the first thing I think of, I'm like, where is there like a handle? Like that's where my mind goes. Is that bad?
We should make one. We could with a little handle that pops out and then pops back in for easy display. You know what I mean? So
So
it's
it's
not
like,
in the way
oh,
and it
that's
looks
not a weapon.
aesthetic.
It's just decorative.
Yeah, and it looks aesthetic when the handle's popped in. But when you need it, just pop it right out and be like, whack! You my statue? Whack!
Yeah, no, I don't have the World of Warcraft. I'm staring up at a Retlock from Guild Wars 2, and I've got a partially broken Ion figurine as well. Awesome.
You know what I have? Do you see this behind me?
Yep.
This is my kingdom. And this is only half. There's another one downstairs. But this is my kingdom. These are all my friends. These are my peeps. See? I can introduce you. You want me to introduce you? You want to meet one?
Oh, let's do it.
This one?
Oh my
You
god.
like that? This is my new best friend right now.
Yeah,
Go a long way.
you're gonna love it.
I know. I am. I joke, but really, I feel that there's a lot of movies come out lately of my favorite franchises, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings, and games that were just absolutely amazing for Lord of the Rings. There was a few disappointments that weren't so great, but then there was
The Lego game Hobbit, their version of the Hobbit. I love the Lego games.
adorable. I love it. You know what though?
I
It's
know.
also got some challenge to it. So
Yeah,
people look
they
at it and
all
like
know
it's
that.
Lego. It's actually like I played all the Harry Potter ones. I have the years 1 through 5 and then 6 through 7, right? Am I right? Or is it 1 through 4, 5 through 7? I can't. I have those. You know, it's a set of 2 games, and it's all the years. And that's the first one I ever played. So then I went back and got the other ones, like the full versions of all these games instead of like the breakdown, because I was one of those people that had the completely I thought Lego games. How cute. And actually, I was wrong. I admit, I was wrong.
Yeah,
They
I
are
like them a
fantastic.
lot.
Not only are they cute and family friendly, they are somewhat of a challenge. There's little puzzles, there's all kinds of things you have to do. That make it a challenge.
Is anybody getting a phone call or a text message?
No, it is a cat passing. Yeah.
That's
Sorry,
a cat?
y'all.
That's kind of scary.
Yes. Yes. I'm sorry.
What should we call it?
Terrible. I'm trying to like make it stop.
I completely threw off my train of thought.
I'm sorry.
Say something.
By the way, guys, it seems we have Jen and Oscar sort of
Oh, yeah,
listening in.
they're commenting.
Just saying hi. The pity you can't actually come in, Jen. You know, good luck with Clan Wars.
Oscar, hi. We'll have Korean barbecue next time I'm back.
Oh,
And
jealous.
yeah, that's our go-to. There's one of my friends back in Cali. So when I'm back there, we have to stuff our faces to where we can't breathe. And God of War as a movie would be ridiculous. That one I could see as a TV show.
That's what I was just gonna say. Like, it would have to be a bunch of movies, and they would have to each have all the same actors and actresses in them, because that's, to me, breaks up the franchise. It just doesn't make it. I don't know, when they put new actors and actresses in a sequel, they're parked right outside. I'm sorry.
That is so random. Why does it sound like spyware?
Because they've got these like crazy GPS systems and like huge radio things that are like phones, but they're radios.
That's scary.
They are. I haven't been in a cab in a long time, but I was in one yesterday, and I saw the setup, and it's really loud, and I am
done.
I apologize. It stopped. He drove away good. He must have been really, like, the next door neighbor must have used the cab.
So what exactly did...
Now, the God of War, I agree, Weenie, like, I would like to see it as a show instead of a movie. I think a movie would be amazing, but I think a show would definitely show. There's more story. There's too much story.
And there's so much freaking scandal.
There is, right? Okay, so if it's made into a movie, who would you like to see as the main? I mean, it has to be somebody amazing and not somebody typical. Like, people would think big guys, so they would think things like, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
No, I would
do
think
not
Vin
think
Diesel would probably. Vin Diesel, the dude.
I was just gonna say that. I like
What was that with
him as
Vin?
an actor. Vin Diesel, yeah. He's
He's
big.
like a super nerd.
He is too. He really is.
Yes.
He did Pitch Black for more than one reason. Like, not just because it was, he was highly paid for it. Like, he actually wasn't, but because of the graphic novels. Graphic novels.
Like, oh, hell yeah.
He loved those. He was like, heck yeah, I'll do that. Who wouldn't want to be the star of their favorite graphic novel, or one of their favorites?
Yeah.
I would.
And one thing I love about Vin, he actually runs his own Facebook page. It's not run for him. When you see any posts from Vin Diesel, they're all by him.
That's cool. I could see
I
him
did not
just,
know
like
that.
the whole like smart ass aspect, and then the serious, and then the
Sweet
I
and
would see
soft
that
side.
it would.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently one day someone approached him and said, we want to work with you to do with your Facebook page. Who runs your Facebook page? Me. No, seriously, who runs your Facebook page? It took him a while to actually get across that it was him who's actually doing it.
Yeah.
He takes the time out to do it himself.
That's admirable.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Vin Diesel. Who else up in the all-star cast? Like, what would you like to see play opposite him? It has to be someone strong and who can equally, like equal. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have somebody who's... They have to balance each other out. Because with Prince of Persia, I liked it because it was a family thing. Like, my kids could watch it. But I felt like it was a little too cutesy, is the word I think I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I felt like it needed to be there was so much more to it than what they did. So maybe we could just put a little pin in that and come back to that another time when we can think of better. What else? So we got God of War, could be an amazing series.
Something else that I think would be good, and personally, I'm not a fan of Doctor Who. I tried to get into it. I really did.
I'm not even gonna.
And it's not that I hate it or anything. It didn't get me, and I really, really wanted it to because everybody.
But you recognize the value of this.
Well, yeah, because it's like most of the fans. It's like a cult. It's insane. Yes, it's real. And I wanted. I'm trying to get on the train. I see everybody going by. What's happening? And
you just can't run fast enough.
I couldn't. Well, and I tried.
Another thing.
Watched a lot more than I wanted to.
Maybe it is the wrong Doctor you were watching. Don't forget, there's been 13 Doctors.
Exactly. No, I'm very aware of that, and I picked it up on different parts because I said, okay, maybe I'll like it later. I was told when you start from the beginning, it'll be slow. Just stick with it, stick with it, stick with it. And I tried so hard.
You gave it the good old.
You haven't
1, 2. So that's what you tried.
Yeah. I figured I'd be fair about it because I can't say that I don't like something.
You haven't already
giving into
try David Tennant. Try David Tennant's episodes. In my opinion, he's the best Doctor. But
All right, so you were going somewhere with Doctor Who. I would like to see where you were going with this.
That one, I can see with how big or how much people talk about it, and from all different perspectives, that in itself could possibly be a game. That could be another.
They did come out with a game. I did not play it myself, but I do know that it didn't get as big of a following. I think because they want it maybe for whatever reasons. I'm not exactly positive. I see where you're going with this. I feel that they could start something like
it has its own universe kind of deal. Like they could
pick up on a storyline or make one. Make it like a what do you call this? Like a webisode or a mini movie, but like they did with The Simpsons. Remember? Do something like that, but on a larger scale. And I think more people would be more like, oh, hey, we can watch an episode, but play at the same time. That's appealing to a large amount of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have seen games. I'm not sure whether it's just one or there's multiple out there, but I have seen some. It was done like an adventure game, and I think, at least for me, it was the type of game that it was that actually turned me off it. I'm pretty sure the one I played had Daleks in it, but yeah. They have tried it before.
Well, I'm sure it's something that the creators themselves or someone else has already thought of. Maybe, just maybe, someone's working on it in their mom's basement. Or I don't know.
That sounds way too accurate.
Well, maybe it's me. I don't have a basement. I have a crawl space. It's really limited, but I have a little headlamp.
Along those lines, I would actually, I believe it's coming back. I would actually like to see Torchwood in a game. Again, Doctor Who universe. In a way, I think it's better. Whovians, don't shoot me. I grew up with Doctor Who, don't get me wrong. But there's something about John Barrowman as Captain Jack.
Can I raise my hand? I've heard the name Torchwood and stuff. What? Someone care to explain? Over my head, I'm too short for that.
Torchwood was one of the many spin-offs from Doctor Who. Another one's the Sarah Jane Adventures.
You were just talking about him?
Yes. Torchwood is like this research type area, and
Think of it like Area
it's
51, but instead of aliens being hidden in a flying saucer in a government facility somewhere, it's a lot of snappy
Cybermen.
dialogue and adventures and maybe I don't even know the word I'm looking for. I'm trying to compare it to something that's similar out there. 'Cause they picked up,
what was it? The Doctor's Hand.
the Doctor Who universe, but they went somewhere else with it. A lot of
The
people,
Doctor's Hand that Jack had.
a lot of people who don't like Doctor Who do like Torchwood. It's different. It's not really similar, but it's not. It's not
I
the
remember
same.
one thing they had there, and that was Captain Jack has the Doctor's hand in a jar.
It ended up regenerating into another full Doctor.
I don't know whether you hear the peanut gallery, but apparently,
Infusing Dr. Sarah.
regenerated itself.
No, Dr. Donna. Sorry, Dr. Donna.
So
Look on
there's
your
a lot
face.
of
You're like, I'm
interesting things.
so confused. You're like, I don't know what's going on right now.
I lost her.
I'm trying. I'm paying attention. I just don't know what I'm paying attention to.
I know. And I am horrible explaining. I'm like, if only I could take from what's in here and like show it
You're
to
just
you.
like, wait, let me roll up my sleeves. Okay, we're going from the beginning. And
I have to yes. There's not enough time. Not enough time.
oh my God.
Okay, so what about any like the new movies? There is a new, obviously there's a lot of superheroes coming out right now. And they're really expanding on that.
They're digging deep. They're using like Guardians of the Galaxy. That was never a well-known popular
It was
comic.
not.
They're
I was
bottom
surprised.
of the barrel and CGIing the shit out of it.
Yes. But so many people liked it. But I know that there are people that I know that thought that was just a big FU to true fans because they were like, we could do whatever we want type of thing. But there were a lot of other people that were like, you know what, I could sit there with my family and watch it, which is kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
I definitely have movies that I love that I would never let my children watch, but I also want to be able to sit in the living room and put it on HBO and go, Guardians of the Galaxy, oh, my kids are home, so they can watch it, So, like, let's TiVo that for later and never watch it because I keep falling asleep because it's late.
Yeah.
What about you? Did you see it?
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Mhm.
Oh yeah. And honest, I really like the movie. When it first came out and everything, I felt maybe it was a little overrated because everybody's like, "Oh my God, Groot! Oh my God! Ah, ah!" and then foaming at the mouth and they pass out. And there was a lot of that going around, and I was like, this is really good, and it got me to look back at the comics because I remember the name, but I never looked further into it.
I agree. I did the same.
It passed me by, and I was like, oh, I remember seeing something about this, and it was just that. So I went back and read it, and I was like, oh snap, and
Oh my God.
it was different. It was definitely different than what they tried to portray. But overall, I liked it. You can't deny it was a good movie. It's entertaining as hell. Yeah.
I thought so. That's what I'm saying. Like, I thought it was an excellent movie.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like superb, over the top, oh my gosh, like you said, foaming at the mouth and passing out. No.
Yeah, and there was like so much of that, and I was like, oh my gosh, calm down. I need to put like a wooden spoon in your mouth to make sure you don't swallow your tongue. What the hell?
Yeah. Or are you breathing?
Mm-hmm.
CPR, is that needed? I think I'm a little Spider-Man. One word, Spider-Man. I did not really like the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans. I was not a big, huge fan of them. I'm sure other people will disagree with me, but I feel that The Amazing Spider-Man was a little more well done as far as the dialogue and storyline. I thought the characters a little more in depth, and I kind of want to see them go a little further with that same path. But I know there's talk of them changing Spider-Man yet again. You knew where I was going with that.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
You're picking up what I'm putting down.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
They use two different, like the Tobey Spider-Man. That was a different kind of Spider-Man. Like,
Oh yeah.
I mean, no, like literally, they used completely separate comics. Like, it was ridiculous. Like,
Yes.
what is it? The Amazing Spider-Man, which a lot of people preferred because it's, yeah, he built his gadgets. He's a smart guy, all this other stuff. The other one, it was all biological, and then he's like, it's different. But I honestly, I'm curious. I want them to. I don't know if you heard about the new Spider-Man that they recently came out. The comics,
I have not gotten to look into them. I've
he's
not
like
gotten to.
half Cuban, half something else or whatever. So he's not white.
He's a hybrid. He's a hybrid.
Yeah. And like people are like, oh, what are they doing? They're forcing it too hard on, blah blah blah. Honestly, I've looked at some of it, and I would like to see that into a movie just because it's
different.
It's really edgy. It's more fresh.
I'm gonna actually I'm gonna look that up myself. That's actually some of this cookie cutter stuff where we're modeling one character after another or style.
That's why the whole what is it, the female Thor? They're trying really hard because they're using the same stuff, but they're like, what can we do with this? And that's why the movies are coming out like friggin' popping babies, just like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they do realize they have to line them all up, and that's why they're trying to keep certain actors in this one and that one. And
exactly. I agree with you. I think that I'm gonna look more into that comic myself. I feel like that's definitely different. It's going in a little different direction. Not something unseen before or unheard of, but maybe take a break from this same mold that we've been seeing so much of. I like edgy. I like edgier. I like darker. I feel like some of those comic book heroes are not given enough of that edgy, soulful, deep, dark, broody history.
Yeah.
They're seeming more like emo kids that have, I don't know what to wear.
Oh, there's another series along those lines. How are you finding Gotham if you liked it? The darker.
I've not watched it yet. I'm on the fence about that. I have not watched it because I don't know if I want to get into another show right now, for one. And for two, I don't know, it feels like it's part of that same mold of movies and shows that we're seeing.
Yeah, it's more the villain side though, so
it's a modern version of Gotham, and kind of. I like it. I mean, I'm not like too thrilled about it. I'm not completely caught up with it. I saw like the first 4 episodes, and then I went back to watch my shows that I was actually behind on. But I like it. It's different. They're still going with that typical like glum, grungy look of the shows that are out right now. Like you said, it's a mold that they're trying to fit right now. But by all means, it's not a bad show. But
and
it's not different.
Merits.
Yeah.
But definitely the same. Like I said, there's the same mold. Kind of want to see something break out of that. Something a little more progressive. And I don't know, maybe we'll see something this year. I went to the movies, went seen Into the Woods. There were several. They were more family-oriented movies because of the kind of movie I went to see. Several previews for movies that look that look amazing, that are a little different. But when I went and seen Battle of the Five Armies, there were some really good trailers of movies that were a little different than what we've seen came out in the last couple of years. So I'm looking forward to Star Wars. I am.
Have you been watching Rebels at all?
Yes, I watched that. I like it.
I was gonna ask you. I'm like, how are you with it? Because a lot of
I
people
like it.
absolutely hate it. Some
I
people
love it.
love it.
I think it's great. It's a little different.
Yeah. I like the humor that they're attaching to it, personally. Like, that's what's
I feel that
me.
sometimes people take things a little too seriously, and I think that show right there is showing us that, we need a few more shows. We don't need to overload on it, but we need a few more shows that are like, hey, it's okay to laugh. It's okay to make a humorous situation. We can throw a little darkness in there, but
Those ones.
People have their guard up because they feel like, their precious Star Wars is getting tainted, so they're already biased with any of it rather than enjoying it.
You
for
were
what it
absolutely right.
And it sucks because it's like, dude, it's all the same. And then if I say that it's all the same, oh God, no, that's not good. That's not okay. And as far as humor with the show, something that I've picked up on, like the first couple episodes, I forget the name. What's that kid's name?
Oh my
The
gosh.
main character, but he looks exactly, even attitude-wise, like Aladdin. It's hilarious.
Yes, I now that you mention it, you're right. You are so right. The scruffy hair, the attitude, the kind of carefree humor.
Where he came from, like all of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on, Disney. Really?
That.
It was just too funny. And I was like, what the hell is this? And I was laughing. I'm like, it makes sense so I laughed way too hard with how parallel their lives were.
I really feel that we do have a good lineup. I mean, what previews have y'all seen? Like, what movies have you seen that are coming out? Like, in the next few months to, like, year. What movies do you know? Besides Star Wars. Because that's the one everybody's talking about right now.
I am so far behind when it comes to, like, movies or anything like that.
Same.
I wouldn't know. That's not
The only thing I recall, isn't there another Maze Runner in the works?
Yes.
Yeah, there is actually.
Yeah. I haven't seen one yet. I really want to see it, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I like it. I saw one, and there were a lot of twists. There was like a lot.
So I have not watched it either. It's another movie on my list to catch up on things.
Oh yeah.
So as far as it was a book first, did you read the book?
The book, no. I just saw the movie.
Okay. Kind of wondering if I want to pick up the book. Obviously, from what I've heard and seen bits and pieces of myself, it looks good. It's definitely worth giving a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is a cartoon movie, but it's from George Lucas. It's called Strange Magic. Anyone seen the preview for that?
No.
If you have not, you should watch it. It's fantasy realm, and there's some humor. It's a little dark, but still can go see it with your family. It looks good. It's definitely going to be more. I don't know if he's trying to focus on a new franchise, or if he's just making something a little
the
different.
time to goof around.
Right? Everybody realized they think, oh, Star Wars, George Lucas, Star Wars, George Lucas, Star Wars. They don't think of anything else. And I think maybe he's trying to get away from that a little bit.
He has the freedom now, because legally, anyway.
Yeah, creative freedom, definitely.
That side of that chair.
I want to see. I've seen a lot of variations of movies and attempts at TV shows, but I want to see something a little more close to a lot of the Lovecraft stuff.
Oh, yes.
And that's I would like to see more accurate depictions of that. Like a lot. I don't know how it would go in a game, but
The closest that I've ever seen anything like Lovecrafty is, have you played The Secret World?
no.
If you like Lovecraft, check it out. The only problem I have with The Secret World is how difficult some of the puzzles are. So, as I was saying the other day, it's almost like you need a degree to solve some of them.
Like, that's not even fair.
No, it isn't, but they do have a built-in Google browser. That is their solution to the problem.
There's a built-in Google browser.
Yes.
They already
That's
know.
hilarious.
But no, that has a lot of Cthulhu-esque type things going in it, and yeah, it's feeling-wise, it's an awesome game.
Man, I have this whole ideal of something that I have not seen before. It's so hard to explain. I want to see something brand new, but it's really hard to get brand new.
Yeah.
Because there's so much out there that it's kind of hard not to be a little redundant. But I want to see something that, I don't know, Peter Jackson or J.J. Abrams. I would like to see them pick up the some movies that were done a long time ago that I feel like, I'm sure some hardcore fans are going to probably not be very happy with me when I say this, but Logan's Run. Anybody seen Logan's Run? It's
of course.
Movie done in the 60s.
I love Logan's Run.
Okay, I would like to see something. I would like to see them stay with the same storyline and just update it a little. You know what I mean? They obviously don't modernize it because it's supposed to be set in the future. So you do that, and it's.
I'm just thinking, how would you improve on that?
I would like to see fresher faces. Like, I would like to see them
Okay.
expand a little bit on their rescue from their world, you know, where they were told that they couldn't go out. You know, don't you see what I mean? See where I'm going with that? I would like to see more on that.
Yep.
What they would do after, you know, because that's kind of where they're like, oh, they're rescued. They're going to live there, and they're not going to die when they're 30.
A continuation on.
Yes, a continuation. I don't want them to redo it because I feel like that's a masterpiece. It's a classic. It's really well done. But I would like to see them go, and what did they do afterwards? Where did they, what were their struggles? Did they settle? How did they, you know, there's going to be new struggles. I feel like they should do something with that. And I think Peter Jackson or J.J. Abrams would be perfect for it. Because they are really good at paying attention to detail. I mean, look what Peter Jackson did for Lord of the Rings. You know, J.R. Tolkien fans. He grew up loving those. And because he loved them so much, he wanted to see them do justice and do right by the fans. And he did. He did a good job. I would like to meet him. He actually wrote a Doctor Who episode. And you know what he asked to be paid in? $1 gold Dalek. $1 gold Dalek. That's what he wanted to be paid in. That's all he wanted, was $1 gold Dalek. And he did, too. He got it. He got his gold Dalek, and then I want one now. Like, that's my ringtone. When you hear my phone go off or notifications, it's all exterminate. And people are like, oh my gosh, what was that? Why is it doing that? It's so scary. It's freaking me out. I'm like, whatever. Not even going to explain it to you. Just deal with it. So I'm the only one doing the... Okay, so I did Logan's Run, what I would like to see. What about... Weenie, what about you? You know, an older movie or an idea that you have that you would like to see made big screen? And maybe not redone, you know what I mean? Maybe or redone. It doesn't matter. It's your fantasy.
No, a lot of the like certain movies, I prefer them as they are. Like like right now when you said like older movies and stuff, like the first the first movie I just thought of that just popped into my head. Obviously, there's no way to really make this into anything. But Blazing Saddles. Like there's just certain movies.
Oh my gosh, I love Blazing Saddles.
Like there's just certain movies you just there's no point in
don't
remaking.
remake that. Do not touch that movie.
But you know what I mean? Like there's just
it's perfect. See, that's what I meant about Logan's Run. I thought it's perfect the way it is, but I want to see what happened after. Haven't you ever read a book or watched a movie and there's no sequel, but you want to know what happened afterwards? And you only imagine what happened afterwards, but maybe you imagine it enough to want to see it made. You know, made into life. You know, there's some things that I'm just like, no, I can imagine better with my imagination than somebody else could do it. But then there's some that I'm just like, why hasn't anyone picked this up already? You know, and then I'm like, why can't I be more influential and do this myself? I want to win the lottery and make like this amazing film or publishing company, and it's like I pick up all these people that don't get published and like, here, come here, like a home for stray animals, but stray writers.
Oh, you just reminded me of okay, you said you read a lot of books, right?
Yes. Look behind me.
So you've heard I'm not usually into books like these, and I randomly picked one up. Because what I used to do when I lived really close to a bookstore, I would just go pick up a book and then read like a couple pages and put it down, like if it worked for me. And this one did, and then I closed it, and then I actually like read the front and the back, and I was like, oh my God, Christine, really? The L.A. Banks.
I love her.
Well, you know the kind of stuff she writes.
Read them.
I got hooked on her like Vampire Huntress series.
That's what I got hooked on. My first book I ever read was Bitten, and then I went and I had to read the first ones. You know, I think that's what the third novel, right, or fourth novel.
It was one of those. Yeah, it was one of the first ones, and I would love to see that in a show. That'd be pretty cool. But that's like a HBO Showtime show.
Yes, like people think True Blood is bad. This
no, man,
goes beyond True Blood ever could.
Oh yeah.
But it's so much better.
I love as raunchy as it does get, I love how detailed it gets into everything.
Exactly. You have no trouble picturing it in your mind.
No, not at all. And that's what got me. I was like, I can see it. What
Incredible attention to detail, but it's so rich too. The story is rich, and there's characters are like, there's a character that's like your brother or the kid next door. Like you can picture these people, or parallel them to people in your own life that you've met. They're like, oh my gosh, if you've read a book as great as it is, there's no way in hell this ever could have been a real person. But with her, these could be real people.
They're all just your freaking average people that you can connect with, And
yes, you can identify with the main character herself. And
I started on the first book. This was like a while ago, but I started her werewolf series.
I have the first book. I've only made it through the first couple of chapters, but so far, I would, if I had to give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down right now,
yeah, it's following the same kind of thing, but just from a different perspective, obviously.
Yes. I like her style of writing. I think that's really...
I was so upset with her passing and all that stuff, because it was recent, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. It's
like a couple
sad because there's so much left undone, and now we're going to have to leave it up to our imagination. There's a website I think you can go to that have those little fan fictions and stuff. Some of them are pretty good.
Yeah.
That go on to stay, in between what you see. You know what I mean? Like, think about reading between pages. That makes sense.
Mhm.
You know, like in between stories, in between books, people do those, and some of them are pretty good. Some of them are not, but there's a few gems in there. But that also reminds me of another website that I went to as a kid. I was a huge Xena Warrior Princess fan.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still
I love
am. Something that never. But I was just thinking, like, wouldn't that be cool if they brought that show back, but with her daughter as the main Livia? That's what they started calling her, was Livia, but Xena's daughter. I would like to see her. I don't want them to, like, I want to see the old characters, you know, with the exception of Ares, because that actor passed, which dashed all people's hopes of a movie with him in it, because he was a key component because of the relationship between him and Xena, but
Yeah.
or an awesome game. I think they can make an awesome game out of the Xena franchise. I really do. There's so much to that you can pick up on, you know. So many little worlds and stories, you know. But there's so many characters you can go, oh, hey, you can be Xena, or you can be, you know, even if it were just a short game, I would like to see something to do that to that franchise justice. How about there's a game I'm thinking of, Left 4 Dead 2. I don't know how much of that game you played, but I absolutely adore it, both 1 and 2.
Yeah, I played the second one.
Well, I did too. I had never played the first one, but the second one you can get all the DLCs, all the first game. So you're really playing the first game and the second game, depending on what map you choose. I don't want to see that made into a show or a movie because the zombies franchise is really being overdone. Walking Dead is good. I'm not bashing it. I love it. But what really makes that show good is the intrigue and all the stuff that happens. It's not so much the zombies. Like, that's just a catalyst. You know, not a continuation. But I would like to see very, very soon Left 4 Dead 3.
Yeah.
Like
I've heard a few
tomorrow.
people. Yeah, they've been bugging about that. And I think, I don't know. But yeah, the zombie thing is getting overplayed, and
Yes.
there actually was this manga, anime, whatever, that came out that was the first like legitimate zombie
You're
take
talking High
on
School of
things,
the
because
Dead?
there's yes, High School of the Dead. It's its first.
Really good, yeah, and it was the first.
There's been other things to do with zombies, but not in this kind of setting. Not
Yeah, no, and I thought
actual
that,
zombie apocalypse.
yeah,
And it's great because they do so many parodies of other animes and other zombie things the entire time. They're just it's a big joke. Like, but it's amazing.
it's
And when
campy, but it's fun.
Yes. Love it.
Me too. I loved that. I feel that we are taking things a little too seriously right now. I think we should be a little more fun.
Yeah. Because, like, what is it? Walking Dead? I only watched, like, up to half of, like, season 2. But then a lot of it was just very, like, drawn out, apparently, and just, like, wait. So, but yeah, there's fun things to go about it. Shaun of the Dead, hello.
Yeah, no, I agree. That was
perfect.
or Fido, if you've ever seen that. That's really silly, but it's definitely just goes to show you don't have to be serious about everything. It can be fun and light, and you can make fun of yourself a little. It's okay.
going away from the zombie and even game-based, as we were talking before, the light-hearted, the latest one's Gallivant. It's like, as was said, that show does not take itself seriously. It's fun, it's funny, it's not normal.
Yeah. It's
not your standard.
It's definitely something if you've not watched Gallivant, you should, because it's not your normal take on damsels in distress and heroes, and everyone's kind of bumbling about and screwing up, and but it's okay because it's lighthearted, and you should watch it, definitely. It's a must.
Well, stop making my to-do list longer, please.
I'm sorry, but you'll forgive me later. You watch it. You'll be like, oh, she's right.
And do you think your list of what to watch and what to read and that's long? You should see mine.
Oh my gosh, no, because then it'll just never finish.
Then you'll be picking things from her to-do list and go, oh yeah, that's it. Oh yeah, oh man, go away.
I've got more.
Go away already. Well, we have some shout-outs to do. I'm going to let Queenie's going to take care of that. She's definitely our little personality. This is a really fun show. I know it's not your normal topics, but these are something that we have discussed, and we all love the shows that are coming out, and I know everyone else has been wondering about, what games are coming out. Maybe they didn't know about maybe you didn't know about some of the things that we spoke about tonight. We appreciate you watching, as we love all of you equally. Without you, we wouldn't be us. Thank you again so much for watching.
What she said. So a few shout outs.
Thanks for joining us.
To the Intergalactic Geek Alliance, the Batcave by Intergalactic Geek Alliance, and as well as Avengers. What was it? Manson? And Geek Club, Community Love Geek, and Eminent Gaming. Shout outs to all you guys.
And we have tomorrow's show is going to be Sci-Fi Sunday. So I really feel that you will love, you want to watch this. Sci-Fi Sunday is going to be so much fun. So you should tune in tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. And also,
go ahead.
Sorry. And also a shout out to Kasara71 for sharing the show. Thank you so much for that. Yep.
And one more shout out from me, a personal fan of mine, and also a fan of our show and our website, is my daddy. Yes, I'm a daddy's girl. I love you. Thank you for watching.
I love you, Daddy.
I do. Right. Well, thank you again so much for watching. We love you all. And here's our closing cue, Clea.
Yay, technical difficulties.
A show wouldn't be a show without him.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thank you. We'll see you tomorrow.